Give it to me. Okay, I was not expecting that.
You ready?
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are here with the second video I've ever done for DanVasc. My first one was Amazing Grace, which I'll leave here. And today we're going to be doing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, which is very near and dear to me because I have just started season 3 of The Witcher. I was watching it over my holiday break. Absolutely amazing show, like can't get enough. So I'm very excited to see what Dan does with this song, which is, at least in the context of the show, not super fleshed out and obviously not metal. It's sung by the Bard, Jaskier. So, very excited to see this. Guys, please do consider joining my Patreon if I am enhancing your DanVasc experience. And if you'd like virtual lessons of any kind, check out the link below to join with my partner company for 50% off your first virtual lesson. Singing, violin, guitar, music composition, music production, doesn't matter, it's all available there. And without further ado, let's check out Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
When a humble bard graced to ride along with Geralt of Rivia, along came this song. From when the white wolf fought a silver-tongued devil, his army of Helsa, his hooves did they.
I like how he's really starting this true to, kind of how it's done in the show. And obviously it says metal cover in full caps, so we will get the metal. We will get the metal at some point, but for now it's very much like lute and voice, essentially. Yeah, Dan to me very much sounds like a natural tenor. Like even these notes are not very low, but they're very low in his register to the point where he's dipping down in vocal fry. And we know this. We know that he really shines with the big high belting, the big metal vocals. Like that's his jam. So you wouldn't expect him to have this big. He's not, for example, he's not like a Jonathan Young, who is a natural bass, who has trained to sing the high rock metal stuff, but naturally his voice sits very low. Dan to me very much sounds like a high baritone or some kind of tenor naturally, yet also is a master of the kind of metal belting.
When a humble bard
so that lowest note there is an A flat 2, which is quite low for most tenors to sing that note with a lot of resonance. They can mostly all phonate down there. But yeah, that sounds towards the bottom, getting towards the bottom of his chest range, of his true chest range.
When a humble bard graced to ride along with Geralt of Rivia, along came this song. From when the white wolf fought a silver
So he kind of starts these first on F, right? Soldo, from when, I think. And those Fs are vocal fried, right? He's not singing those in pure chest voice.
From when the white wolf fought a silver-tongued devil, his army of Helsa, his hooves did they.
Can't wait for him to rip it. Ooh, it's gonna be nice. There we go.
They came after me with massive for the sea, broke down my lute and they kicked in my teeth. Wow, that the whole horns, men start tender me, and so cried the Witcher, he can't be bleed.
So clearly a much more comfortable part of his range, right? We get the drums, we get a little bit of backing happening now aside from the lute. He goes up exactly an octave and you're like, okay, now we're getting towards, where his voice really shines. We're still not getting any kind of big power singing yet, which makes sense. We're only, 30 seconds to a minute into the song. We're not getting into the big, belty, gritty vocals yet. Got to save that for later. And I assume he's going to go, he might even take it up another octave. I don't really know what's about to happen. But the point is, the song is revving up. He's now in a more comfortable part of his range. But, I like that he arranged it in such a way that he started really low in his range, because that's one way to kind of rev up intensity and keep the song interesting, is if you just sing one verse in a lower octave and then you sing the next verse in a higher octave. People are like, yay, higher, exciting. So it's a great arrangement strategy.
They came after me with massive fantasy, broke down my loot and they kicked in my teeth.
Kicked. So just touching an A flat 4 there, just touching it. We're not getting any sustain yet.
Broke down my loot and they kicked in my teeth. Wow, that those horns went so tender me, and so cried a witcher, he can be bleed.
And he pulls way off the voice, allows a little bit of vibrato to come in, but singing that bit very softly. And then, of course, we get this big drum fill, leading us towards whatever's coming next.
The witcher, he can be bleed. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
I love that. That's a great progression. Super exciting when that happens. This is, well, it's related to the cadence. I wrote an original song a long time ago that I'm kind of finishing now, and it has a cadence like that in the vocal line. Epic works so well to kind of that's one that like really pulls you in as it goes up, because you know when he hits that second to last note, that penultimate note, that you're like just craving him to go up to that high note. I love this. This is dope.
It can be bleed.
Right in his wheelhouse.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh.
So we're still not getting a bunch of grit yet. He's still, I believe he does grit in his singing. I can't remember if he puts any in Amazing Grace. But if he's a metal singer, I would think there's some grit in his singing when he chooses. So I believe he's waiting to use the grit later, because that's another great tool as a singer to rev up intensity.
Plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Yeah, I should have remembered. I just heard him do a gritty belt up there. So B flat 4, just below tenor high C, really solid gritty belt.
At the edge of the world, fight the mighty horde that lashes and breaks you and bring to the mold. He thrusts every elf far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain from whence he came.
Use that technique where he'll sing a straight tone for a little while and then allow vibrato to come in. Another great tool. This is like a toolkit, guys, for singers out there who want to keep an arrangement interesting. Lower octave, higher octave. Clean singing versus gritty singing. Straight tone versus vibrato singing. That cadence. Thank you, Dan, for showing us how to make a song interesting. It's great.
Bring to the mold. He thrusts every elf far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain from whence he came. Yeah! He wiped.
Sick. Another belt up to that B flat, I believe. Yes, sir.
High up on the mountain from whence he came. Yeah! He wiped out your past, got it in his chest. He's a friend of humanity, so give him the rest.
I love the movement in the instrumentals in the background. Chun, chugga, chun, chugga, chun, chugga, chun, chugga, chun. This adds movement, this adds drive to the sound, right? And we get some cool string we got some string motifs happening as well, and I believe he arranges everything. I don't know if he plays everything. Leave a comment below, but he certainly arranges all these songs. Maybe it's MIDI data, like good samples or whatever. But dun 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 dun. So he's intentionally adding. That's another tool to add intensity to a song. Get some movement in the instrumentals, and then add a new part, like we're hearing with this little string part that's going around in this verse.
Far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain, from whence you came.
All right, here we go.
Yeah! He wiped out your past, cock it in his chest.
Listen to those strings.
Humanity, so give him the rest. That's my epic tale. A champion prevailed, defeated the villain. Now buy him some hell.
It's very similar vocally in this verse compared to the first verse, right? He added a little something right at the end, a little kind of yell. But for the most part, very similar to the first verse. Second verse. The verse where he like jumped up the octave and was like, let's go.
A champion prevailed, defeated the villain. Now buy him some.
A flat 4 again, right? So he's been doing that. He's been just touching that A flat 4 at the end of each verse.
Champion prevailed, defeated the villain. Now buy him some hell. Toss a coin to your witch hunt. Oh, valley of plenty. Oh, valley of plenty. Oh, toss a coin to your witch hunt. A friend of humanity. Toss a coin.
Okay, so he doesn't go into the gritty belt there, but he's getting this just great vocal fold closure, right? A really efficient sound on these evals. Now, naturally, people do find it easier to get good vocal fold closure on an eval, just based on how the vocal folds respond to that shape in your vocal tract. It's much harder for people, especially young singers, to get good vocal fold closure on an open vowel, like an ah or an aw. Most young singers can sing pretty cleanly on an eval. It's more close to an SOVT, a semi-occluded vocal tract, which is good for vocal fold closure, like an v, z, e is pretty close to that. Ah is not. Now, my vocal folds are trained like a maniac because I sing opera, so vocal fold closure is not an issue. But for beginning singers especially, you might have a beginner singer that can go E, and then they go ah, and their vocal folds just like don't know how to come together on the open vowel yet. Just wanted to flag that because Dan has really, really great vocal fold closure on that E vowel, and you can see his mouth position here too. This is he's obviously recorded the audio elsewhere, but the E looks like this. E instead of like E or E. He's got this big smile position for this E vowel, which is also great for ascending if you're going to go really high in chest voice, and then if you need to open it up like yeah, it's easy to open it up. It's easy to open it up from that position. He's done that on oh previously. Oh, now we get it on ah. That's a nice little change in this chorus here. Give it to me. Okay, I was not expecting that. F5 gritty. I don't even think that's a mixed belt. It sounds like he's not at all connected to his chest voice, but it's a really powerful like head voice falsetto with grit involved. That's actually a very unique kind of belt. I don't hear that very often. It's like a really, and I don't think it would be soup. It might be. God, I don't know. My intuition is that because it's gritty and because it's in falsetto, it probably wouldn't be as loud as it sounds. You obviously can't tell how true volume in any of this because it's a studio recording. But it sounds really intense and very cool, and it came out of nowhere. That was very exciting. Up to the F5, so obviously the highest note we've heard from him in this song, and maybe the highest note I've heard from him, period, over the 2 videos I've made.
Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity.
That's sick.
Toss a coin to your witcher, only plenty.
I take back what I said. It is some kind of, I don't know. It's really high. So it has enough weight to it that it's totally possible that it's a mix. But I know also it sounds like he's really strong in that kind of falsetto area, and it is obviously possible for male singers to train up there and have a really strong falsetto. Like that's what a countertenor is, mostly singing in falsetto and head voice. So it could be, it's hard to say. It could be a mixed belt from Dan, or it could be that he's really strong in that falsetto part of his voice. Either one, either way, it sounds sick.
Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity. Toss a coin to your witcher, only plenty.
There, it's like that's very clear chest voice where he ends that phrase. It's just a matter of what he's doing on these really high notes. You can hear the difference in quality, and toss a coin. Tossa is different than coin. Just listen to the weightiness of that, the difference there. But it's streamlined top to bottom. So if it was going to a full false, because it's hard to tell when he jumps, but there, that second part, he actually comes down from it back into an obviously pure kind of chest belt. So it's probably a mix if he's transitioning that smoothly back down.
Hey, my friends, it's great to see you today.
Oh, I've never heard him talk.
Don't know, I'm very passionate about the Witcher franchise. I think Witcher 3 is a strong name for the best game of the last decade, in my opinion. But hey, let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do more Witcher songs. There's still Priscilla's song from the game. There's still the song of the White Wolf from the show. Let me know below what should be next. For those of you who are...
I think he does other covers of Witcher. I think I saw it on his page when I was looking for the next video to do. Cool to hear him talk. Yeah, he does sound like when he's speaking like a higher baritone or a low or a tenor, lower tenor naturally. But he's got obviously trained in some crazy high notes. I would love to do an interview with Dan. So I'll probably reach out to him. If you guys want to hear that conversation, leave a comment below. And also leave a comment anything else you want me to react to and analyze from him. I will not go through his catalog. I will try to do first-time viewings for all his stuff because I know he's got some big-time fans out there, and I know you guys like that. So I will resist watching the rest of his things. Comment below. Check out my Patreon if I added to your DanVasc experience. And check out TuneLark if you guys want virtual lessons of any kind. I will see you in the next video. Peace.